GM, sir. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Good morning. I'll type it out as well. Welcome up, not light piglet, White Ranger.
Good morning. Good morning. How am I coming in?
You sound good.
Awesome.
Did you get your gotchis all dressed up and the XP all claimed right before the snapshot that happened about a minute ago?
I would like to say that I did, but I have been juggling lately.
Hey,
So
friends.
whoever, somebody's going to get a better allocation because of how chaotic life is.
Yeah, I
You
feel
guys
that.
hear
I
me
was able.
okay?
Yep, you're coming in loud and clear.
All right. Nice.
Good morning.
How are you doing, friends? I'm gonna go get this polygon block and then we'll jump into it here.
Also, friends, I don't know if you saw the message that Dan dropped in the general chat, but the Polygon Discord had a some kind of uh, issue, so don't click links going into it. I think it's been hacked.
I believe it's I just saw someone post. It should be back up now, but yeah, be careful. Cool. White Ranger, what were you saying there just a second ago?
I've just been busy, crazy busy lately. I like not gotcha related, but I like started my own business yesterday.
Just yesterday. Oh well, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, like
Congrats.
last night, like sent for my LLC and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's just like the realization, like no boss is ever gonna pay you like what you're worth because they obviously need a cut or they wouldn't be a boss, right?
That is definitely, well, sometimes you just get to a point where you're just like, yeah, I got a great idea and I wanna do something on my own. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's just I basically developed a product, like a niche product for an industry I've been in for 14 years. And it needs scaled, and the company I'm with won't be able to like have enough flexibility to scale it the way it needs to be. And so I was like, I'll just do it on my own and sell it to them.
Nice. Yeah, that's there you go. Well, this is my latest hangout I've ever been at, guys. So we're starting here at 11 p.m. coming in from UTC +9 time zone here in Japan. Pretty sick. Excited to be hanging out today. And I see Lost Locals also in the house. Hello, sir. Yeah, we're this is like our day. What day is it for us? Day 4, I think, of jet lag. And I gotta say, we've been powering through it. We've been slamming coffees and Red Bulls to maintain our ability to function here. Right before I did a speech at Dow Tokyo. It was really funny actually. We got there. Lost Local, if you're around, feel free to come up. We can chat about it for a bit. But we got there on the first day, and one of the event organizers came up and said, "Hey, one of our sponsors, I guess, didn't make it or they had to drop out, and they were like, could you do us a favor and be a keynote speaker today?" And I said, well, yeah, sure, happy to do you a favor, friend. So ended up doing a 15-minute speech. Had to kind of throw it together a little bit, but ended up doing. We'll probably have that on YouTube, hopefully next week. Just talked about kind of spreading the Gotchi gospel, talking about Aavegotchi DAO, and uh, specifically about how Aavegotchi DAO raised all the money that it did via the Daiko. I thought that would be an interesting topic for people to kind of learn the history about, because they haven't. A lot of people, obviously, in the space don't know, how we did that in such a cool way. So it was cool. Aragon was there. They got to hear. I was talking about their Aragon fundraising template. But yeah, it was a really cool event. And then later, so I had to slam a Red Bull right before that, because this was day one of jet, or day two. It was pretty rough, but made it through it.
Some wise words is there's no free lunch, and you can't sleep lost is just lost. You can't make up sleep because you'll just end up sleeping when you would otherwise be awake. So
Right.
those are two great pieces of advice I've been given over my years.
Totally get it. I mean, yeah, I slept. We've been going to bed pretty early, but waking up fairly early. And tomorrow we finally got a
Yeah,
nice day of rest and relaxation.
yeah. People seem to have this thing of like, oh, I'll just stay up all night and then just sleep in tomorrow. It's like you're just
Yeah.
that's not how time works.
To be fair, I think the last time I had a Red Bull was like when it first came out, just to try it. I never drink that shit, but I actually went to them. I was like, "Hey, do you have any coffee? I kind of am fading here," and they're like, "Nope, we don't have any coffee." So, but we do have there was one Red Bull sitting there. I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna grab that, slam it," and
And then the next day they made you drink one for camera, I
they
think, and you
did.
ended up drinking another one because they were a
That's true.
sponsor. So they were like, "Hey, can you do us a favor and pretend to drink this Red Bull?" And you're like, "I can do better. I can
Yeah.
drink another Red Bull."
I think I drank half of it, but yeah. Not definitely. It was very helpful having all the caffeine to just power through all that, because you can't really take a nap in the middle of a conference. And I mean, we were getting tons of people stopping by the booth. We had really nice booth set up. I don't know if Lost Local, do you have any pics of the booth at Del
Yeah,
Tokyo?
I could drop some in the chat. Yeah, it was awesome. We had support from Poke Show, and Mr. Allegory and his lovely lady came down and helped, which was awesome. It's cool to meet new Gotchi gang in person. It's pretty rad. Yes, and we did a little workshop on highlighting the flaws uh, of a project using kintsugi art as a reference, which was T-Bird's idea. In the greeter chat, we ended up putting that into action. We were not able to get a kintsugi artist though, because they did not want to perform it while everyone was listening to us yap. So we bought a piece and passed it around and used it as kind of like a teaching aid. So very cool idea, T-Bird. It was awesome for you to have some influence on the event from all the way down there in Texas.
I love that. The piece itself, I think it was kind of cool. We were passing it around to people during the talk, and we filled it with stickers and stuff. So I would say it was not a hugely attended talk, especially at the beginning, but eventually they put us right before lunch in the room next to lunch, which I think it could have been a good spot, but it was also kind of rainy, and it was second day, so wasn't particularly well attended. But by the end of the talk, we had 10x the amount of people, so that was pretty good. But I kind of had to go back and there were people asking me questions about stuff I'd already covered at the beginning, so I was like, yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, we got some pictures of the booth here. We got nice Geist. We got Ghost Token, a QR code to apply. And by the way, guys, we've got about 5,000 email signups so far, just from the Geist website. Like I had to re-up our Zapier integration just because they were getting so many signups. And we got email and wallet address. So it's going to be really fun to be delving through those and seeing what kind of people we're getting. And yeah, on the right side we had the Aavegotchi gaming console. People responded really well. It was great having that both of them there, and it was a pretty well versed audience, so we can have some nice, deep discussions about things. And yeah, I did meet Anthony. Actually, we met Anthony and the Aragon guys the first day. We had like a VIP kind of speakers dinner or something, and met Aragon, met someone from MakerDAO, who was pretty cool. And yeah, we ended up chatting with Aragon and meeting him the day after as well. We're supposed to get a dinner, but we ended up having other stuff with going on.
Yeah, it would look like some good tonkatsu, but it was very far away.
Yeah, that's true.
That was day 2, which felt like day 5. So.
Well, yeah, wrapping that up, and now we are chilling in Mount Fuji for the weekend, and then we're going to be back at it on Monday, going to WebEx, another big gaming. Maybe you have more context on that event, Lost Local. Assuming that it doesn't get blown away by a typhoon that's coming in. I think it's a fairly big gaming conference in Japan. We're not going to climb Mount Fuji. I wish I could, actually. We just don't really have the time. Just enjoying the atmosphere around it. It's very cloudy, so it's kind of hard to see anything. They do need a bounce gate. I mean, my Gotchi could fly up there. Little Gotchi I had. I'm sure it wants to go up there, but I cannot. I can't float.
My girlfriend is she's personally obsessed with teleportation. It's hilarious.
One day we'll crack it, man. Keep trying. Yeah, can hear you now. Yeah. Right.
With partners and chatting with folks. So that's the strategy there. But this is, the first time that Gotchi Gang is officially taken to the Japanese convention circuit. So just trying to get a temperature on what the gaming, Web3 gaming especially, community is like here and industry is like, so that we can, make a meaningful entrance as we go live with the product.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been fun, like just getting to know some of the Japanese community members and in Web3, and meeting just a whole new group of people and everyone's kind of doing the same circuit too. So starting at DAO Tokyo, ETH Tokyo is actually going on this weekend, and then going to WebEx, and then going to Korea Blockchain Week, and then going to Gamescom in Japan, some of them, or whatever it's called. What's it called? The other gaming event that's happening. Japanese.
Tokyo Game
Tokyo Game Show, yeah, and then going to Singapore. So it's a whole circuit. We're gonna be meeting the same people at each event, which is pretty cool. You get to have a little bit more FaceTime with people. Yeah. And yeah, even met some people that had been at On-Chain Summit or in that area as well. So yeah, lots of excitement. It was great getting the Gachi Gospel out, and love people meeting people IRL. Lost Local, do you have anything else to say on the greetors? I know it's just been super cool being able to, have the support of the greetors.
Yeah, we should absolutely also be shouting out the greeter team that was at Gamescom in
Yes.
Cologne. So, while we were doing what we were doing in Tokyo, we had other members from the greeters that were funded by the Greeter Initiative at the BGA booth in Gamescom, which is like one of the biggest video game conventions just in the world, period. Like Gamescom is where the big boys go to announce, what they're doing for the year. I think you could compare it to GDC as far as scale and importance in the industry. So it was really cool for us to have a presence, and the greeter program allowed us to have actual reps out there. While Pixelcraft was in Tokyo handling DAO Tokyo presence. So, really good example of how this program allows us to be everywhere at once, and also the power of decentralization, being able to motivate and activate community members across the world to be at these conventions and just promote the project.
I mean, yeah, Gachi Gang is everywhere. We can be everywhere. Love this.
Infinite vectors, infinite scaling.
And soon they're gonna have everyone will have a Polycade machine to be bringing around with them too. Just drop that machine.
Only if I get a percentage of sales. I will say the Battleverse is coming along. I can post it in my chat. The dev has been deving. I'm trying to push the latest build to the server now. But we will be arcade ready. I'm hoping to have something for in person in Detroit. So we will be on the machine doing what we do best. But yeah, funding a project, getting it going, seeing some pushes to GitHub, very inspiring.
I love waking up every day, and for some reason, all of the commits in the Aavegotchi organization like go to my inbox. So I wake up every morning with like a deluge of. I could like mute them, but I choose not to. I could turn them off, but it's nice waking up and there's like 80 messages in my inbox. And I have to go through them, and like I don't read every one of them, but it's nice just seeing them in there. Like all of our team members at Pixelcraft just shipping while I'm sleeping, and waking up to that is really cool.
Pretty strong flex, man. This is my first couple I've gotten.
Yeah, no, it's the beginning. It's the beginning.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, maybe one day I'll wake up like that.
Doesn't happen every day, but those are the good days.
As a founder, I can relate. There's not like dozens there, but half a dozen, maybe a dozen, and it definitely feels good.
Fifu or Mr. Seb, does anyone want to give a quick overview of how Gamescom went for everyone? If anyone wants to get on stage. sounds.
Yeah, everyone.
Hey,
Maybe Maxi. I don't know if Mr. Seb is here. I see Maxi Crouton, so I think he can join me because he was part of the effort, of course. And maybe Mr. Seb is still in the train back from there. I don't know. I don't see him.
no worries.
And
Okay.
Maxi, are you joining or are you not really that available? Because I know he was traveling also today. He left a bit
Right.
early.
I'm not sure if
Yeah,
I see
Seb
him
is
on
in
the
travel.
call. Oh yeah, he is. He is on the call.
Okay. So what can I say? So just to put some perspective about Gamescom, if you compare to ETC in Brussels, the thing is that the scale is totally different. I mean, it's incredibly huge. The kind of convention centers they use or the place they use is gigantic. There are like 10 halls. They are all filled with a lot of stuff. And the thing that is a bit special is that it's the biggest B2B event for gaming, basically. And the BGA, they secured us a booth in the B2B section, not in the B2C section. The BGA booth was in one of the 4 B2B hall, because there was not even one hall for B2B, there were 4 of them. So we had the booth for 2 half days. We made some contact. We didn't have time to classify all the contact, but the contacts we made, there were people interested in the IP or in the games one way or another, because their activity there could be kind of synergy between what Aavegotchi is doing and what they are doing. We can put it that way. So we didn't really made that much demo in front of gamers, because you're in front of professionals, so they are. But it's not their main interest. It sounds strange when I say it, but that's how it was. And the funny thing is that the BGA booth was kind of one of the only places that was Web3 blockchain tech only. And I saw quite some people scouting around, like they are coming around the booth, they are checking, they are not taking notes, but they're here. You can see they are not just walking around randomly. So that part was a bit fun. So yeah, we made some contact. We met a lot of other members from BGA. We had the BGA event also in the evening. And we met some people that we already had met in ETC, just a few, but there were some. And then, apart from those 2 half days, we kind of enjoyed the size of the event. Like, some of the booths for the biggest games, they are bigger than the place I live, no problem. And yeah, Maxi Crouton say we had the best game of the BGA booth by far. Yes, I agree with that. But just because it is B2B, not every booth in BGA was about a game. There were a lot of Web3 companies that are providing, how can I say, for like Olympics. So some companies, they are providing solutions for esport tournament, infrastructure, Unity stuff in relation with Web3 and gaming. So that's what I wanted to say also when I talk about the game. So yeah, we met Cryptogotchi also. So that was super nice to finally meet him after working with him for the AGP and a lot of other stuff. He's a really nice guy, and that was a very nice moment. And yeah, in terms of exposure, we took some contact and so on. Now you need to understand it is not the same thing as ETC. BGA is coming here to put us somewhere on the map, but I think it's their first year. I think it's an effort that we will have to renew the effort. We will have to go there again next year and the year after if we really want things to happen, because the event is so huge that it's and there are there is so much competition. There are so much companies that are there to have a booth that basically you really have to set yourself apart. You really have to be there many times in a row in order to really have a big exposition. The thing show you that the industry of video game is. I've never been to a show like that. Basically, that's what I can say. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. And thanks to BGA because same as always, super nice. Everything was ready in time. Absolutely big success on their side. Their side event was a nice side event also. So yeah, shout out to them. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Yeah, that was great. And
And
yeah,
we met
glad
also person you wanted us to meet also, to meet also, Dan and Jesse, regarding different connections.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's really neat. Good to make those
That's normal.
connections. We'll definitely follow up with that.
Plus a few others.
Nice. Yeah. Feel free to send Lost Local or myself or Golden Cross or all of us.
We need to compile a bit. We need to compile everything
Yeah.
a bit. We left like yesterday or today for Mr. Sepp, so it's still very fresh. The event is not even finished. Today is the last day.
Okay. Yeah. Good. My Telegram's blown up with all sorts of connections. I'm sure you guys are as well. That's always fun.
Not that much Telegram this time on Gamescom. People are more or less, you know, they still have the paper card, like, you know, hey, this is my card. They haven't changed gears yet. It's still their way of doing things. ETC and the crypto convention, everything happens with Telegram, but on this one, people, they have their real card. It was funny.
We made a bunch of custom business cards for this Asia trip, but everyone just uses Telegram now. But it's still nice to give them out.
Keep them for the real gaming events. You will use them there, no problem.
We should Lost Local. We should publish that template so if community members want to make their own, we could all have like a similar looking business card around the world. Be pretty neat.
100, yeah. Stellar threw that together. We can definitely make it.
Yeah, and thanks for the Geist t-shirt also. We
thank you guys for making
them.
that happen.
Yeah, we got them. BGA received
fun.
them but we mixed between the Gotchi Greaters t-shirt and the Geist t-shirt because the Gotchi Greaters t-shirt with the Aavegotchi logo, maybe we felt like it was giving better context to people coming at us at the booth.
It's great to be able to point to the shirt and be like, oh, this is our L3 on this shirt.
Yeah, the attendance was not the kind of people, they don't really know what is a L2 or L3, basically.
True.
So the people we talk, they know what is a game for sure.
We when we were at On-Chain Summit, we were encountering people that don't know what Tamagotchis are and don't know what like crypto is. I don't really know how they got into that summit, but I met a few people like that. I was like, how do I explain this to you? It was tricky. I think we finally got through to her, but it took some creativity.
Yeah, there's like groups of people who are launching shitcoins with first exposure of blockchain being base. It's very strange, but there's like
Yeah.
a whole new generation of people out there,
Yep.
and they're relatively normie, to be honest. So it's kind of an interesting situation.
She also said, I don't play desktop games. She kind of plays mobile games, but she mainly plays console games. I was like, tricky. But man, maybe you can get a gotchi and pet it on your phone. Oh, I didn't hear the Bitcoin person. That was something else. That sounds interesting. But all in all, I think that these events, the one thing I love, oh, that's right, the deaf lady. I didn't hear that part. What I love about these events is that we get to practice our pitch against just like a large group of fairly diverse people with like, diverse backgrounds, interests, knowledge of the space, and you really helps us understand like, where we can improve our messaging.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Our speech and how we present the project at Gamescom, it was not the same way we did it at ECC, but one way or another, we keep it, we improved between the first and second event also.
Totally.
How has been the reception, Coded Dan, in terms of Web3 gaming? Because for the past few years, we've been in a kind of a down market for NFTs. Crypto has recovered, NFTs not so much. If you look at the blue chip ones, and I've seen a lot of negative sentiments around NFTs. A lot of builders have left. The good ones have stayed. But I'm just curious about your perspective going to these events.
Like yeah, I was chatting with someone who was like very bearish on NFTs, and I'm my perspective, I'm like, yeah, NFTs, maybe NFTs are dead, but it's just in name. It's not the tech. The tech is not going anywhere. Like the tech is going to power a ton of applications in the future. It's just maybe people don't want to call them NFTs, and that's fine. The example I gave was like, how excited do you get about TCP/IP? Like no one cares about TCP/IP unless you're building TCP/IP, and like, but the consumers don't give a shit about the names or what they're using. They just want to be able to like in the future you're going to play a game and not being able to permissionlessly transfer the assets that you own is going to be insane. Like people in the future are going to look back and say, what do you mean you couldn't like earn a sword and then go sell it? That sounds like that's awful. Of course you should be able to sell everything that you earn in your game, and that's going to be powered by NFTs. But no, we're not going to call them NFTs.
Hey guys, just hopped on here to echo
Hey.
that. And yeah, I think on your speech at On-Chain Summit, you also kind of mentioned like the naming doesn't really matter. You had some aside about whether you call them, digital assets or digital ghosts and digital monkeys, something to that effect, or an NFT. It's just a name. So the tech isn't going anywhere. But
and it's also, I think people are getting, I mean, there's always going to be like the meme coin, group of people that are speculating on that. But I think people are getting kind of bored of meme coins, and they're looking for something with a little bit more substance.
I know on a personal level, like, yeah, I like a good meme coin, but it's not the equivalent of an NFT. They offer very different experiences. So I could totally see how meme coins have probably onboarded a lot of new people to crypto. That's their first experience, maybe oftentimes through Coinbase and the Coinbase wallet. But that next experience could be, it's just a matter of time till some compelling, desirable NFT series takes off and brings everybody back over to experience NFT culture. So probably everything's coming in waves, right?
Yeah, it's like cyclical, just like even within Aavegotchi, things are kind of cyclical. Some things that are not in the spotlight right now, people may do better speculating on those not financial advice. Same with all of crypto. If something is like not in the spotlight right now, that's probably what you should be looking at.
Yeah, I have a pretty similar experience actually. I got myself pitching Orion to other games and other platforms out there, and I hear a lot about a lot of negativity around NFTs. And there was even someone that suggested me to stop calling them NFTs and start calling them digital assets, which I think it speaks to what you were saying. The name or the label doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, for us, NFTs is kind of shorthand for what they are. But like if I call it a digital asset, I feel like that term is not really explanatory enough.
It's too broad because that all like Bitcoin is a digital asset in some way. There's a lot of kinds of digital assets.
I like calling them crypto collectibles. That's my go-to. But people, that's like that term hasn't really taken off. You know,
It's
like
a
I
lot of
wish it would.
syllables. CCs. Well,
Digital
then there's the
assets are
Nifties with it
anything.
spelled out. NIFTIES. Remember that tried to take off, right?
Yeah,
Your
that's
Nifties,
still just
Nifty
NFTs
Gateway.
though.
Yeah. I feel like I'm more in the camp. It's going to be like DVDs, VCR. Pick your. There's plenty of people love acronyms, so there's no reason NFT couldn't have stickiness as a. I think it's just we're at the bottom of an attention market that's totally on meme coins and more liquid assets right now.
Maybe I don't know. The term kind of got it did kind of get overtaken by PFP mania, and it does it left a bad taste or a bad impression in a lot of people's head. So I don't know if the term itself can really come back. It'll be interesting to see. Like I usually try to mention both just to see and gauge how people respond to them.
Oh, there was peak NFTs right there with Saturday Night Live. Another acronym,
but I think
SNL covering NFT.
Yeah, but I think you're touching the core point there. I think the PFP mania kind of left a bad taste on everyone's mouth. And the tech's not going anywhere. I'm very passionate about Web3 gaming. I'm just curious about how to refer to it without that bad connotation. That's always a challenge.
You'll have to go to NFT New York this year and see if they're still calling it NFT New York.
I mean,
100%.
on-chain collectibles is like if we can get the word on-chain in there. If it's like a digital asset, it doesn't mean that it's on-chain. So if you call them on-chain digital assets, maybe that's obviously it's not gonna replace NFT as the acronym, but maybe it doesn't need an acronym. I don't know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's communication's everything. We just had this conversation with marketing team, Carla, a week ago about one of the spaces we were promoting, and it was talking about Geist and was it going to be on-chain gaming, or the original title said Web3 gaming. I was like, no, we're not doing Web3 gaming, but on-chain. That's we're aligned with Base. We want to help support and that message, like unify the nomenclature. So on-chain is strong. It speaks to the benefits and emphasizes that part, whether it's an NFT or an ERC20 or whatever. So
yeah, and that's not like a hype term that could get canceled because it's literally it was offline. There's a cool T-shirt that I saw. It's like offline, online, and now on chain. And that's like the evolution of where we going, where the internet is going.
Yeah, it's more clear than saying Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. It's It's probably better. I do like the word crypto, though. I see Grizzle. Why not CBAs?
Well, CBA that would be a blanket term for everything, like
Yeah.
ERC20s, ERC721. Basically, that's any token. That's a token essentially. That's another word for a token. Crypto-based asset.
And how has been the other builders in the space? Do you guys get to connect to other Web3 games that are in the same ecosystem? Is building your own chain kind of the route that large games are taking?
We met a ton of meme coins and like based builders at On-Chain Summit. We met the guys from based Minecraft, and we were kind of explaining the whole problem that crypto gaming has with all the Sybils, and I think I might have convinced him. We were like, we would love to have. They have this cool loophole that they've found with Minecraft, where apparently they can actually do it without like, getting sued by Microsoft. So we're like, yeah, come on, we'd love to have you on Geist. It might help with their gaming rollout. As they get bigger, they're going to start experiencing the same issues that we had with the Gotchiverse. So I met them, and I also met a guy. I was doing a panel with other builders. We did a panel at DAO Tokyo about autonomous world, which I went in there. I'm like, guys, I'm not like Aavegotchi is not an AW project per se, but it's a space that we were very interested in. So had a really nice back and forth with a guy from Lattice. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with like Lattice and Mud, and I didn't realize that Eve Online is going to be working with Lattice. So that's pretty cool. But he was like, I was like, come on over, and we'd love to have him, like, have this guy at Lattice build something on like an AW sort of thing on Aavegotchi, because he didn't really know that much about how on chain we were. And when I explained it to him before and after the panel, he was like, "Oh my god, like you guys are so far ahead in terms of like everything that you're doing, funding, putting everything on chain, like it was blown away." So I'm gonna follow up with him as well. He's a very like capable builder, and we'd love to have, that's the kind of guy that we would love to have building on Geist as well. So if in the future we ever get a funding request from a guy from Lattice, that's probably him.
You mentioned that they were building something with Minecraft. Are they also going to be building with the Aavegotchi IP?
So those are two things. The base Minecraft guy, he's doing some interesting work where you can basically you can put your IP into Minecraft, kind of similar to what we will probably end up doing with the Gotchiverse. But you can kind of fund it with tokens, and when you defeat the boss, the tokens somehow like spill out on the map or go to your wallet or something. It wasn't super clear, and I didn't get to really see a demo of it happening, so I'm not totally sure how it's working. But yeah, I think if he launched on Geist, we would definitely do some integrations with the Gotchi IP in Minecraft.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is because I know that Geist is going to be invite only. So when it comes to developers building games, are we looking? When you assess if someone is potentially coming to Geist, what are the requirements? Do they have to build with the Aavegotchi IP? Does it need to be around Aavegotchi or the metaverse or the DAO in some way?
For on the Pixelcraft side, we're definitely going to give a lot of emphasis on like, are you actually using the IP? Are you using the assets, the tokens? You don't have to use all of them, but some level of effort to use to integrate Aavegotchi into whatever they're building is probably going to be required. On
Yeah,
the
because
on the DAO side, there's basically two ways to get enabled on Geist as a developer. One will just be going through Pixelcraft, and the other will be doing a DAO prop. So if the DAO passes a game that doesn't use the Aavegotchi IP, then technically they could also deploy. We would wait, put them on the allowed list. But what we really are, the only reason we're trying to, we have this permission development and deployment is because you guys have all seen what's happened on public chains, like what happened on Polygon with Sunflower Land. What happens, like every time Zen goes up by a little bit, it just clogs these blockchains, and it's kind of antithetical to what we're trying to do with Geist, which is keep things very cheap, very, very quick, and not have a bunch of random, like, gamified DDoS attacks, which is what
But
tokens like Zen are.
so instead of saying, you have to integrate Aavegotchi assets in some way, the top number one priority. It's a priority, but if you had Sunflower reskinned Aavegotchi, we probably still would not deploy
Yeah.
that. So it's more important
yeah.
what you're building, how secure it is, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got to have a game loop that doesn't revolve fully around the price of the token going up and being able to mint it quickly by participating in it. Like, it's got to be more than that, because we've seen it's pretty easy to spot those now and, like, avoid them.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is because I wonder how Geist is going to present for everyone else around at Web3, because there are other blockchains specific for gaming, right? Closed blockchains specific for gaming. Rolling is closed off. IMX is closed off. So yeah, my follow-up question was going to be, how do we differentiate Geist from all these different ones, right?
Geist differentiates itself on the identity side, because we're not going to let anyone anyone can spin up a wallet, but like we've said, only the members are going to be earning rewards. So the whole chain has a membership program and like a reward program. And that's different from how something like Ronin operates, where they're constantly out there flaunting their DAW metrics, which is not something like I don't care about DAW. For Geist, I care about daily active members. How many members do we have that are, like, on the chain, active, willing to pay for a membership, and also they've been invited by someone, rather than, like, you can't just spin up 1,000 wallets like you can on other chains and, like, multi-account the shit out of stuff. That's the main differentiator of Geist, and I think it's pretty strong, but we'll obviously see. Maybe it will need to evolve over time, and initially we'll be fairly strict with it, I think, in terms of we're not going to just be giving out these invites like candy to everyone forever. It's going to be fairly strict, because we want to have a nice first rewards campaign to kind of to show the world that this model actually is another alternative to, like, to going to market with your chain. DAW means daily active wallets.
Yeah, I have a quick question, because some of the games that are out now are on launchers like Hyperplay and eventually Epic, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What would the flow be for people that are coming in through games like that? Would they have to, I guess, they would see the game on Hyperplay, but then they would have to be directed towards getting the membership and the subscription? How do you envision that happening?
Yeah, I think for, like, if they're coming in through Hyperplay, we will likely give a certain amount of invites to Hyperplay directly, and we'll be doing that for partners as well. So it won't be a huge amount, but we'll say, hey, here's some invites. If you identify some of your best players, that you think will be a good fit for the chain, feel free to direct these invites to them. That will be one way. The other way will be these players, they start playing the games, they like what they see, and they want to get an invite. So they will come into the Aavegotchi Discord. We'll probably make an invites channel, and people can connect. They can say, you guys will have the invites, and you can connect with incoming people who are looking to get invited. So that information will be in the various games. There'll be ways for people to know, here's a rewards campaign. If you want to be eligible for that, you need to get invited to Geist and become a member.
Yeah, that sounds good. Also, Jesse had mentioned yesterday that you guys are actively talking to guilds, onboarding them. Can you tell us or disclose any of the guilds that you've had active conversations with so far?
Well, a lot of them are guilds that have been familiar with Aavegotchi over the years, and then some will be. I think Lost Loco could speak to if he's not already talking to them. Like we've been talking to them for 6 months about this is coming, and that some of the we want to talk to the Wolves DAO. We want to talk to the Yield guilds too, like the OGs and kind of the gaming guilds that are really big right now. So we'll be talking to all of them. In fact, I think some of you guys will be going to some of their side events during this Asia Roadshow. So there's a lot of different gaming communities that we're linking up with at these IRL events.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see if we're going to give out invites to quite a few of these different groups, and we'll get to see in real time like the quality of their users. If they give out these invites, are the users going to play the games? Are they what's going to happen in that when you redeem an invite, you'll get a 7-day trial. So we'll be able to see after that 7 days, does this person do they play the games? How are they playing? And ultimately, do they convert into a paid member on the chain? And so we'll obviously be optimizing for partners that are able to deliver players that ultimately end up becoming members, because that's what we're optimizing for. So if we give them 100 invites and not a single player becomes a member, but we give another guild 100 invites and 10 of those players become members, well, who do you think we're going to give the next batch of invites to? So that'll be interesting to watch that play out as well.
It's like a meta layer gamification, a little competition at the top.
Yep.
And even for the invites, there'll be a bit of a UI that tracks some of this and keeps track of how many successful invites you've had. You can compare that to other invitees in real time. So it's going to be pretty nice how transparent and easy it is to see this data. Leaderboards.
Do love a good leaderboard.
If we want to switch it up a bit, I've got a few little things to update on Gotchiverse side before we go off to the Dower. Yeah, hopefully we get all these new members into the Gotchiverse, hanging out. And the first thing I'll show is something visual, just a quick clip. We've been working on the roads. Not the railroads, but yeah, check this out. Real quick, easy to play clip.
Oh, man.
Feel free to share that on socials, do whatever you want with it. But Gotchis are cruising now. You can fly if you want to, or you could take the express lane. We are moving. So, and this is early. I think it's already changing from this. This is like midway through the whip. We're working through it, and it's going to get real nice, where you kind of get a sense of the speed based off the VFX and the visuals around it. So we're starting to run.
Is if you're flying on a road, are you gonna fly faster too?
No, I think the roads are encouraging people to come down to earth, so to
Right.
speak. metaphorical Earth here, come down to the realm and interact with people and not be all floaty. But if you want to like fly up and just kind of be like a cloud, float around, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a jet stream. Maybe we could get a jet stream in the air too. If you guys are interested, we could put some effort into that. It'd be just like visually, there's no indication right now up above the road. You just have to kind of eyeball it, and like suddenly you catch the jet stream. We could do that, but the conversation was, let's try to get people to congregate. And when you go 3D, you go vertical. The amount of space to explore literally like 100x's. So it's like, how do we keep the incentives, relatively speaking, on Earth, on the ground, where people can gather, with occasional reasons to fly up? So we're playing with that concept. Like, you're going to fly up in the air, maybe for a pickup. Maybe there'll be pickups on the ground, but there'll be certain pickups or things to race for up in the air, and various maybe time-based or scenario-based situations where you're going to want to go up top, up to the stratosphere. Speaking of pickups, I'll preview a couple here. You guys may have heard on a previous call where we're playing with the idea of being able to take photos in the Gotchiverse, and we got some friends in the room here. I see that are very active on CryptoVoxels, voxels.com. Very familiar with what they call WOMPs over there. And so this is a little different in that we want to apply scarcity to the photos, make them collectible, make them mintable. And so we're going to do a pilot program with it first before we go too far down the rabbit hole. Learn user behavior, learn what people like, don't like. But probably for the launch party, you will see some of these floating around. Let me drop this in. And I love that Gotchi film reel. So if you're a millennial or older, you probably recognize that as a roll of film. If you're younger in the chat, you may need a indicator for that one. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that, imagine at the launch party, we're going to have an Easter egg hunt and have to find a limited resource for taking photos to document the party we're having. And so it could be your Gotchi, your profile, kind of leaving its mark on history for the opening day of the Gotchiverse. And yeah, Gotchimon snap, literally. Here's Chonya at the whip at the voxels.com. And so, that's a good example of kind of the vibe we want to have. Everybody's dancing, partying. And then if you happen to pick up one of these, your role at the party just got really important, because now you're the photographer of the party. So yeah, that's one concept we're starting to experiment with. We got some nice little pickups ready for it. Let me know which one you guys prefer. I'm partial for the roll of film, but camera is more ubiquitous. So got a couple options there.
Maybe like a phone or something. Maybe not a camera.
There's a phone, and people should be thinking to make a call, right? But you're right. Even the phone is the default camera now. People won't even know what a camera looks like.
There was a guy at DAO Tokyo with like this ancient like 80s camera, and it's Lost Local. What type of film was that? He like that was pretty sick.
Yo, what's up, guys? Just want to hop on quickly before we end the hangout here and talk about Gotchi Battler really quick. I just want to say we launched our socials last week, so you guys should check those out. We got a new Twitter account and a new Discord you guys can join. And inside that Discord, we're actually hosting our first activity called the Gotchi Battler Training Challenge. Just the first of little activities we're going to be hosting in that Discord to kind of get us ready for those next rarity farming tournaments. And this one, basically, you're trying to make simulate battles against the godlike versatile vanguard, and you don't actually need gotchis to play this activity, because you're fighting them with training gotchis. So basically how the activities work. I'm just gonna post it in the chat really quick. You're trying to build the best team to fight against that godlike Vanguard team, and then the players that get the highest win percentage are going to be earning some rewards. We already have 4 people that kind of cracked the code and got 100% sims against them. So there's technically 1 spot left if you're looking to get that 100%, but I think we can extend the prize pool a bit if more people figure that out too. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that, and join the Discord. Thanks.
Awesome. Congrats on the position too, sir.
Thank you, sir.